everybody, and happy Easter.
Yep, happy Easter.
And I don't know how many we're going to have today because, one, we're on earlier by an hour, of course, and of course it's Easter Sunday, so some of you are probably that maybe celebrate that or have family coming over or you're going to family. May not be able to make it today, but you can always catch it on the rebroadcast if you're so desire. Hope everybody can hear us okay and see us okay. It looks fine from my monitor that things look like they're all right. So let's see, who have we got? Let's say hello to people. And go up to the top. So we've got Barb is here and Donna. Lydia is here. Patsy. Kino No Show is here. Jan is here, of course. And who else have we got? Suzanne and Laura and Sly and Derek. And Sue Norfleet is here. It's almost 70, she says, in central Missouri today. Not here, although it's
10.
It's 9. I've got 9. You've got 10. Now, on my side of the chair, it's 9. On Walter's side of the chair, it's 10.
It's kind of weird because we're using the same app to figure out what the temperature is. So his is always like a degree different.
Whatever. Yeah, well, I'm a hot person. Kathy's here. Hello, Kathy. Marjorie is here as well. The purple wall is here. Okay, hello. Lynn White is here. Hello, Lynn. Lynn, you're just getting to become a real expert with the technology, aren't you, these days? And Marilyn is here. Thank you, Marilyn. Yes, we are wearing Walter. Just Walter. I'm wearing my long sleeve one. Well, you got
I
your
got my long
sleeve.
sleeves on.
Yeah, I'm more. I'm. What do they call that? Juching, juju, whatever.
Yeah, I gotta alter that pattern because it's. Do you find that the sleeves are kind of thin?
Thin.
Like I meant thin as in like not very baggy.
I don't want them baggy.
Okay, fine.
It seemed fine to me. I don't know.
Okay.
Neck's a little tight. Like I can't do the top button up.
Yeah,
But
well,
that's okay. I don't do the top button up. So
actually, I have to go a size up.
well, I don't want to big. Don't need a size up.
Actually, there is that size. I think is actually considered slim fit. I probably should go to the regular
I would
fit.
go more to classic. I'm not as slim fit as I have said many times before. New Quilting Life with Janice is here. I didn't forget you, Janice. I just didn't get down there yet. I wouldn't forget you. Francis is here. Hi, Francis. Okay, Lydia likes the shirts too. Okay. So
Actually, they're not new. I made them a while ago.
You know, you guys have seen these before, but we're wearing them today because Stephen and Walter Live is going to be a little shorter today by half an hour because we're going to end about 4 o'clock. Because we're off to my sister's for Easter dinner and she wants us over at her place for 4:30. And yeah, she's about by the time we get there, it's about a 25-minute drive kind of a thing. It's not that far away, but you know, we have to fight city traffic. Well, in Oshawa.
The Steve shirt's a batik.
Oh yeah, you made this out of a batik, didn't you?
Yeah.
And as I've said before about this shirt, I have a quilt made from that same material. In fact, I made the quilt before you made the shirt with it. I think that's called Cityscapes or something by Northcott. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, so I'm sure a few more people may be joining us, but I don't think we're going to have as many as I already said because of the earlier time and because today is Easter. And we did debate whether to do a live, but you know us, we always do a live no matter what. But probably not next week, at least not in the traditional way. But we'll talk more about that in a moment. But let's see what we've been working on. Well, we were talking about shirts, so show them my latest shirt that you got made for me.
Well, okay, I still have buttons to put on. I've got 2 buttons on right now.
Well, you were fighting with the buttons.
Yeah, I was fighting with buttons. Then I realized my tension was all set wrong on my machine, and that's probably why I was having a problem.
Anyways, this is my weed shirt. I love that fabric.
Actually, I think it came out really nice.
Yeah, I think
I really think it looks good.
And your pocket is invisible. I can't even see the pocket.
There you can see the stitching. It annoys me.
Well,
I should have used Invisible.
Look in the monitor. You can't see it in the monitor.
Yeah.
So
it's there.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with the stitching.
Right there. So
Okay.
yeah.
See, I'm very kind. I don't
I
point
mean,
out
now I don't go
mistakes.
ahead. Some people go to the extreme of matching the front stuff, but I don't really do that because that's way extra fabric. To do
Yeah,
that,
I don't
so.
think you'd need to do that really with that. But anyways, yes, I can't wait to wear it. And it looks like it'll be ready for our trip to Vancouver. And hopefully the weather will be nice enough that I can wear short sleeves. Because I'm really tired of cold weather and everything else. So anybody else? Oh, Lucy joined us. Hi, Lucy. Um, Everybody likes your shirts. Very nice weed shirt. Yep. I just think it's kind of fun. When I saw that fabric, I bought some. I don't know what I'm going to do with it as well. I bought a couple of meters of it in black, and there's one with a white background, and I bought that too. And I said to Walter, "That'd make a nice shirt."
Yeah, actually, it was pointed out to us by the shop owner.
Yeah.
She said that a grandmother and her granddaughter came in to look for fabric for pajama pants, and her grandchild picked out that weed fabric for pajama pants, and her grandmother bought them, and she had no idea
No,
that the leaves were weed leaves.
maybe the little girl did.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know,
know.
but Grandma did not have a clue about that. But well, so what? It doesn't matter. It's legal here. So and it's colorful. So what are people saying? Jan loves the colors of the shirts. Laura says, wear that in BC when you're there. Perfect theme for BC. Yes, Laura. That's what I was thinking too. Sally's here. Hi, Sally. And Shirley's here. Hi, Shirley. So I hope I didn't miss anybody. I don't think I did. So what have I been working on? Well, you've seen this in bits and pieces. I've got the top, if I can find my cursor, I've got the top done now for this. Oh, that's not the picture I want
No,
to show you.
That's what I was wondering.
Okay, I've got to find it. Keep them entertained while I look for this
Okay.
picture.
Yeah, well, so Steve's got the wrong picture up here.
Yeah, well, I'm looking for the other one. I've got to find. Shoot, I miss Windows to a certain
Well,
extent.
then go back to Windows.
No, I don't want to go back to Windows. It's just everything comes up here, and it fills your whole bloody screen.
Well, to put it on screen.
But then I can't find my.
Oh Lord, Steve, old men and new technology.
No, really. Oh, bite me hard. Really. I figured if it there it
There you
goes.
go.
There we go. Okay, now I can show you what I've been working on. Okay. There we go. This is the one I call Canada Day Maple Leaf Log Cabin Quilt. Got to get a shorter name. It's actually by another designer, Chelsea Stratton of Quilting Life. It's her pattern, but I decided to do it all in Canadian maple leaf theme kind of a thing. So the top is done. And thanks to my enabler for quilting design, Stephanie, from Stephanie Stitches, she directed me towards a perfect design for this, which is maple leaves and swirls.
You mean a quilting pattern?
Yeah, quilting. What's what I said? Design.
Well, I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't listen.
Yeah, apparently not. Which is nothing really new with you. But anyway, so I've got the quilting pattern. I don't know if I'm going to get it quilted next week or not because, we're getting ready to go on our trip, although there's not that much to do, kind of a thing on it. So, yeah, I'm really happy with the way this one has turned out. I really like it. Do you like it?
Yeah, actually, I really like it. And when you look at it in the smaller screen, when I'm looking at it here, it almost looks three-dimensional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does, because you've got your lights on one side of the log cabin, you got your darks down the other, and I purposely picked them in the order that I did to go kind of dark
did you
to light.
purposely have your little leaves in the corners so that they point in different directions?
What little leaves in the corners?
In the middle.
They don't point in different directions.
Yes, they do.
No, that's I fussy cut the leaves out.
Oh,
I had no
okay.
choice
All right.
on how those went. I had to get it to fit.
Okay, I see.
I fussy cut them out. See this one?
Yeah.
It came out of this fabric that's in this line right
I
here.
see.
So I had to do a 2.5-inch square around each one to get them the right size.
Well, that's my only comment.
Ugh, you couldn't leave it, could you? Couldn't stop it. Oh, I really like it. But, well, at least my tension on my machine wasn't
I know.
really screwed up. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, so that's what I've been working. I'm also working on another project, but I don't have any pictures of it yet. And that's the Stephanie Stitch's quilt that she was doing a sew along on Saturdays with, called All Stars. And there are 10 star blocks. Actually, there's 20 because you do 2 of each block. And I just finished the 6 star blocks. So I've got 4 more to go. Well, actually 8, but because they're duplicated, I'm making the 2 at the same time. And then get it all together. That won't be done before we go to out west. So what are people saying here? Jan said she had a great day yesterday, as we'll talk about that. Log cabin is Lucy's favorite. You want to know something? I have had problems in the past making a log cabin quilt. With cutting the strips, for some reason, well, that was back before I figured out that I wasn't really doing a true 1/4 inch seam allowance. And something on a lot like a log cabin, you really have to have an accurate 1/4 inch seam allowance, because if you don't, even if you're off by a 1/16 of an inch, that will multiply as you go around. So I was really happy that that turned out. I've done log cabins before, but this one I think's turned out the best of any of the ones that I've done. I guess as one individual who will remain not speaking, who liked to say that she thought that I was improving. High praise from that individual. Some of you'll know who I'm talking about, others of you won't. And that's okay. What are people saying?
Well, there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, bite me. You should know. Another gorgeous quilt, once again, Stephen. I like Janice. Laura says, beautiful Canada Day theme quilt. Lovely color combination, Stephen. Love Laura. Love your quilt, Stephen. Well, do I like Jan? I like Jan.
Yeah.
I was just waiting there because I'm waiting for a comment from her. Derek says, I really like that maple leaf quilt. Have downloaded the pattern and we'll have to raid the stash to see what fabrics to use. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty versatile pattern, too. You know, it would even look good as a Christmas quilt, even if it is a maple leaf. But, you know, if you did your leaves in sort of a model green or reds or something like that, or mix them up and make great in fall colors, and make a great fall quilt, too. I think it's very versatile, really.
Yeah, you could put a different, something other than a maple leaf in the center, like a snowflake or something.
Well, you could do that, but then you're going to have to figure out how to piece that to make it fit.
Well, if you make a snowflake the size of the maple leaf.
Well, yeah, but it's a piece. That maple leaf is pieced.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, so it's not applique.
Yeah, no, so you piece a snowflake or something.
Although you could do applique. Well, yeah, you could piece, but you got to make sure you got to find.
Well, what if you find a piece of fabric that's the size of the maple leaf that has a snowflake?
I suppose. Oh, you're just so full of a lot of helpful suggestions, aren't you? For someone who doesn't quilt. Yeah, you made a quilt once and a table runner. Now you're bloody expert.
I like certain things.
Yeah, and you make sure everybody else knows what those are that you like. Oh, Jan, be quiet. I'll argue with them if I want to. Hello, Stephanie. We were just talking about you. Your ears must have been burning. I was talking about your all-star quilt. I'm still working on it, but I don't have anything to show yet for it. Well, I do. I've got some of the blocks done. I just haven't got around to taking pictures of them. But I will. Sue says the little leaves in the cornerstones are blowing in the wind. Okay, that's a good way to look at it, Sue. Yeah, that's what it is. Sue said they're blowing in the wind. Yes.
No, I didn't say that they look bad. I just wondered if you were.
They don't look bad. They look good. That wasn't part
of. Lucy says she'd put a bear paw in the middle for Christmas.
A bear paw. Yeah, you could. Do anything with that pattern. Thanks, Suzanne. Let's see. So, snowflakes are 6-sided, hard to piece. Yeah, I know. That's what I was trying to explain to his nibs here. Yeah. Although you could do stars, too. You could probably. There's lots of things you could do with it. Jan says, by the way, I have 2 neighbors today, you and Lydia. Yeah, well, whatever. Yes, I will send you a picture of it when I get it done, Stephanie. That's for sure. Okay, so that's what we have been working on. And, okay, we did have 2 events in the past week. We had Craft and Chat last Wednesday. Well, we had three, actually, if you count Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen, which is always on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All are welcome to join. Links for those are always in my show notes in the Zoom. Craft and Chat, first Wednesday of every month, and it was the first Wednesday this past week of the month, and we had, it was an all-day sewing event, actually, for a lot of us, because we did Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen in the morning, and in the afternoon we had Craft and Chat. So we got a lot of things done, lots of people there. And it was I think every time I do Craft and Chat lately, it's been getting a little bit more, the numbers have increased and whatever. So that's always good. We always have a good time. And then on Saturday, yes, much to my chagrin, well, not really, but I was forced into having a pop-up sew day, and those of you that forced me know who you are: Jan, Lydia, and others, Lynn. Okay, but we had fun. I think I did, and we had, at the height of it, we had about 33 people there. It was almost like a retreat in some ways. And for those of you that may have missed the pop-up sew day, and the reason I wasn't originally thinking of having one yesterday on Saturday was because of the weekend. Figure people are busy or whatever. Well, apparently there were 30 some people that weren't that busy, and so that was fun. And we had prizes. I've never given prizes on a pop-up sew day. It was kind of a prelude to my retreat on May the 6th. But anyways, if you missed it, you missed out on being eligible for a prize. Oh well, there's always next time, whenever that will be. And if you're not on my pop-up sew day mailing list and you want to be on it, just send me an email and I will put you on it, and you'll hear about when the next one will be. Right now I do not have a date for the next one. It won't be for a few weeks yet. Okay, so I suppose everybody's got plans for Easter. What's everybody's plans for the day? And just backing up here,
That's assuming you observe Easter.
well, yes, if you observe Easter. Lydia goes forced and laughing her head off there. Yeah. Lucy says, just a minute, Stephen, you're a generous guy. I don't know how generous I am. I have pop-up sew days for selfish reasons, you know. It's to keep me amused. You people amuse me. Yeah. No, Jan's shopping for fabric for the pattern that she won. And Lady says, did you buy the cat quilt kit yet, Jan? Oh, who cares?
It's in my cart.
Okay, Stephanie says, when do Walter and I head out for the West? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in a moment. But first of all, tell you what we're doing today. We're going to my sister's, as I already said, for dinner. And I've made everybody a 3D bunny with a little basket full of chocolate eggs. Real chocolate eggs. I didn't make those on the 3D printer. So I'm taking those over to give them. And I made a few extras because I never know exactly how many people my sister may actually have for dinner. And luckily I made extra because she sent me an email today to let me know that her in-laws were coming as well. My brother-in-law's mom and dad, which I kind of figured they probably would be. So I made sure I made some extra bunnies with all of that. So I'm well prepared. And yeah, what are other people doing? Are other people having special dinner or whatever? I mean, to be honest, we do Easter because it's tradition. It's not for any religious reasons. In any part of my family, really. At one point in time, it would have been, because I was sort of raised in a churchy household at one point in my life, but really, no.
We're not churchy.
We're not churchy people. I mean, I hope I don't offend anybody, but I used to consider myself a Christian, but that was by tradition because I was raised in a Christian family. And when I do that, I mean, you know, it was more cultural because my mother came from a family that were churchgoers. My dad didn't really, but my mom did, and we always went to church, and my parents were very involved with our church. We're Presbyterians, and you know, Presbyterians, we don't have sex standing up because it could lead to dancing. So you know, that's the way. But really, I just went because my mother made me, and it became a tradition for a good part of my life. And then I kind of left the church. My father kind of left it. I left it.
I have bad influence.
Yeah, that. But you know, I don't. Well, I'm not going to get into the discussion, but we really don't celebrate those occasions because they are religious holidays. We celebrate them because they're tradition. So if you understand what I mean by that. So yeah, so we're having Christmas or not Christmas, Easter dinner over at my sister's, and yeah, that'll be good. We haven't seen my sister in a bit. Hear all about Mexico, I guess.
I guess it's good to have special days.
Well, it's
during
good to
the
get
year.
together with family, you know, for things, and sometimes you need to have these special days like this in order to do that. I know when I was a teacher, it would have been great because there'd be 4 days off because we used to get Good Friday, of course, and we got Easter Monday as well in the school system. I'm not sure the school system's still doing Easter Monday off. I think they are.
I'm not sure. I know there's a lot of government offices that don't have Easter Monday off anymore.
I don't know. I mean, it's been a while since I've been
Yeah.
in school. So, but yeah, that was always something. And this was the time of the year too, as a teacher, that we liked because you went from after Christmas holidays, you came back, you had about a month of classes, and then you had a week or so of exams, which were like hell for marking. Then you started a new semester. Then you got Family Day on the about 3 weeks into February, and then it was March break, and then came Easter.
You got a week off.
Yeah, I got a week off. Then came Easter, and now the next long weekend teachers and kids will be looking forward to is what we call the 2-4 weekend, May 24th weekend, the Victoria holiday. So that comes up in May, and then bang, right after that, it's pretty much, at least for high school teachers, you've got about a month of classes left, then you're into exams, and then it's summer. So the second semester, or the second half of the school year, always goes by a lot faster because there seems to be more holidays than in the first half of the school year. But I don't worry about that now. Every day's a holiday. So people are saying what's happening. Hello, Presetta. And Barb, I don't think I said hello to Barb, and I didn't say hello to P. Spillmaker. Just looking here to see what people say. Barb's having family over today for dinner. They're having a spiral ham. I like a spiral ham, but you're eating ham forever, unless you've got a big family. Janice says prizes are nothing. It's all about sewing along with you, Stephen. Yeah, but I figured I could give some. Okay, what's happening here? Oh, bloody hell. What happened?
I'm not sure.
I lost my link. Well, for us, not for them. Everybody else can see. Okay.
Can you do your everything?
Okay, we're back. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Okay. Where did I leave off? Youngest child, Joe says, hello, Joe. Don't think I said hello to you. My youngest child's coming over having barbecue burgers. That sounds good. And Derek sat in my armchair under blankets eating my body weight in chocolate, watching TV and looking at fabric websites. Not such a bad thing. Lucy had lamb yesterday. Yesterday, his daughter is flying back to Vancouver. Today, we enjoyed the sunshine, did our gardening. My parents didn't even have us kids christened. No offense taken here. Yeah. Lamb. Haven't had lamb. Ooh. I wonder if my sister will do lamb. She might. I don't know. And I'm just looking down. Francis is baking a loaf of French bread, grilling nice sirloin, and roasting garlic potatoes later. Other than that, it's Sunday with laundry and counter cross stitch. Okay. Oh, Cheryl's here. Hi, Cheryl. And Cheryl's off the We are off the Dill Mom's house in a bit.
Well, I think that's a
Is that
typo.
daughter-in-law?
Oh, daughter-in-law. Maybe.
Daughter-in-law Mom's house? Okay, I don't understand short forms, people. I am sorry. Like, you know, WTF? What the fun? Yes, that's what the fun. Okay, so everybody's got stuff going on today. It's good. All right, let's talk about our trip because we are going to leave. First of all, to answer the question that Stephanie asked, we leave on this coming Saturday, April the 15th. We fly out about noon to Vancouver. It's what, a 5-hour flight?
Yeah, about that.
About that. So we will leave here at 12 and arrive in Vancouver at 2. No,
Yeah, right. It's around 2 or 2:30.
their time too, because Vancouver's 3 hours behind us. So if we're leaving, yeah, in about 5. So it'll be about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, their time when we get there. Then we have to get to our hotel and everything. We'll just take a cab for that and get settled in. And then fun. All the time. Out to Vancouver. We haven't been there in 30 years.
Probably.
Maybe more than 30 years. Was it 1996?
No, I thought it was either 95 or 94 that we were out there.
Well, were we in this house when we went last time? Because we moved into this house in 95.
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
I think we were in this house. That's why I thought it was 96. But anyways, it's close to 30 years since we've been there. So that's okay. You also notice we're not drinking beer.
We've been in the airport.
Uh-huh.
We haven't actually been in the out looking around.
Yeah, the last couple of times we went to Australia, we had to fly to Vancouver and then catch a different plane to get to Australia from there. But we were just in the airport. So we haven't been there in a long time.
I thought it was 94 because it was about 10 years after.
Oh, you're right. That's right, because it was exactly 10 years after from the time we went before.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we were in the old house at that point.
Yeah.
Still, yeah, you're right. It was so 94. So it's been 29 years.
Yeah.
Since the last time. Oh, that's a good question, Cheryl. Oh, I was right. It is daughter-in-laws. So yes. Okay. So I emailed my brother today about it. Now here's the trick. Anytime that I've talked to my brother, which is is very rare, I've texted him and he's texted me back. But I was more comfortable emailing him because I had more details to put in about stuff. So rather than trying to get it all on a text message. Well, I had 2 email addresses for my brother. I had one for his work. Now, my brother has changed jobs, at least from what we can figure out. Walter did his little investigations, if you know what I mean, on the internet. My brother used to be a manager for BC Hydro. But he now works for one of the ministries of the British Columbia government. Don't exactly know what his job entails, but
he's a regional emergency director or something like that.
Which we have no idea what that means whatsoever. But anyways, I sent an email out to his personal email address, the one I had on record, and what I did have for his work email. And I didn't know whether he was going to get it or not, but I figured I'll give it a couple of days. If I don't hear anything from him, I'll know one of 2 things. 1, my message didn't get to him, or 2, he just didn't want to answer me. So either way. And then I figured I'd just text him because that I know works. Then Walter did some research and he figured out that...
Well, I found his work listing, but his work listing didn't have his email. It had his phone number on there for his work, right? But it's the government of BC, which is similar to the government of Ontario. And 2 of his colleagues that showed up on the listing had an email address, but there was none for his email. So I looked up the 2 colleagues, and basically it was the first and last name with the government email address area, right? So at government email. And so I just put his first and last name down with the government email address, and that worked.
And it worked. And I got an answer from my brother. Plus, he sent me his personal email address, because I did send him one to what I had on record as his personal email address, and it bounced back saying that didn't exist. So I figured, okay, well, I've had that for a long time. He's probably changed it. But he gave me his new email address, so I have all that, and he's looking forward for it. He says, yeah, sure, let's get together, blah, blah, blah. My brother couldn't have been friendlier about it. Well, there was no need for my brother not to be, but, you know, we've had our issues, which, well, anyways, involved his wife. So I don't know if she's happy about it, but anyways, my brother is. So yeah, so he said, yeah, whatever you want to do, because we're going to spend 3 days in the town that they live in the city they live in. We have our hotel room. I gave him the name of the hotel room, and I didn't know this, but Walter did. Of course, Walter knew. I looked it up on the map because I had the address of my brother's place, and he's only lives 10 minutes away from the hotel we're staying.
Well, that was part of my hotel selection. So.
Oh, really? Weren't you clever? Yep. But anyways, so yeah, it looks like I'm going to be able to see my brother. I'm really hoping that I'm going to get to see my niece and her husband. I've never met her husband. And my youngest nephew, my middle nephew, he's in England. Yes, he lives and works in England, so I'm not going to see him. But I have not seen the other kids. Well, I haven't seen the kids in how many years? Well, it's my father's 75th, right?
Yeah.
And that was, Dad's been passed 9 years ago, and it's been over 10 years.
Yeah.
10, 11 years. So, yeah. So I'm kind of excited now that I got a positive response back from my brother about that. So we'll see what we come up with, and, you know, get together. And like I said, I hope I get to see my niece and my nephew as well. But, you know, that they'll be around too at that time. So yeah. So what else? Oh, I'm going to show you what do we have planned for Vancouver. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab something. You tell people what we have planned.
Yeah, well, we're flying out, and we're getting a cab, and for the first 3 days we're going to stay in downtown Vancouver, in a pretty central location, in the business district, actually. And then we are going to get a car, and
we already have the car booked.
Yeah, and we have a ferry booked to Vancouver Island. Hopefully that's okay. And on the 18th of April, we're going to go to Vancouver Island, and we're going to stay in Victoria at a hotel for 3 days. And then we're going to, on our way up to Nanaimo, we're going to drive to Nanaimo, which is on Vancouver Island.
I heard they have great bars there.
And probably stop at a famous garden called Butchert Gardens, and then we'll spend one night in Nanaimo and take the ferry back across to the mainland, which is in North Vancouver. We might do some sightseeing up there on that day, and then drive down to Abbotsford, where his brother lives, and spend 3 days there. And then after those 3 days, we drive back up to Vancouver and stay another 2 days and get rid of the car, and then the next day we fly out again.
So how many days are we gone? Is it actual 2 weeks, or is
It's 13 days.
So 13 days. Ooh, lucky 13. So yeah, and I noticed Derek said, can I borrow Walter? He seems to be really efficient at sorting travel and planning well. Yeah, he's my travel guide. That's why I asked him what we're doing, because I have no idea. I just leave him that. And of course, we will be visiting some quilt stores along the way, although, as I've said before, I do not intend to buy a lot of fabric. I tend to be selective. Like if I see something I really know that I really like and I know I can't get here in Ontario or easy enough, I may buy something, but I'm not going to buy reams and reams of fabric, because we're going in June to the Canadian National Quilt Show. And there's going to be all kinds of vendors there, so I'm going to kind of wait then, because we'll also have a car at that point. It won't be like we're flying to the East Coast at that time. So I'll be able to.
Yeah, we'll drive to the East Coast.
Yeah, we're driving to the East Coast, so we'll have a car, so I can buy more things there. Going on an airplane, although, as a few people have suggested to me, well, if these places have online stores or whatever, they'll probably ship too, and that kind of thing. So yeah, I could probably do that, but like I said, it's going to have to be something that I really, really fall in love with and know I cannot get readily, here at home, kind of a thing. So yeah, it'll be nice for change. I think I'll go through withdrawal because I won't be doing any sewing for 2 weeks. But maybe that's not such a bad thing. Maybe need a little bit of a break from that because that's all I do. Is sew all the time. And don't anybody suggest I take hand sewing along with me for the drive because you know what that means. We drive in a car into some place and people will think there'd been a murder in it or somebody exploded inside the car because there was blood everywhere from that. Walter would purposely hit bumps. And I'm saying, boom! Yeah, there could be death. To see, I saw a few other people just came in. M's here. Hi, M, and Elsie.
Actually,
here.
the ferry ride to Vancouver is not a short ride.
No,
it's
about 2 hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, we've been, Lucey, to
Vancouver
Nanaimo too, as well, but I don't remember a heck of a lot about it. Oh, Luane's here. Hello, Luane. Lydia, the withdrawal. Stephen's way of saying he'll miss us all. I'm not going to be that far away from you because I am taking some equipment with me whereby we can possibly do, depending on internet connections, lives. They'd be shorter lives, and I can make some video as well and up them to YouTube. I went through my electronic devices this morning, and I've figured out what I need to take with me to do things like that. The biggest problem will be what I have for an internet connection. Some of these hotels have really great connections. Others don't. And is it free? Is it not free? That kind of thing. Because I don't tend to pay for an internet connection if it's shitty. Even if it's good. So we'll see. But yeah. So as I told people yesterday on the Pop-Up Sew Day, if you have never subscribed to us, now's the time to subscribe and to hit the notification bell, because although that doesn't always work, when we put up a new video or do a live, that's how you're going to find out about it. You'll get a notification if you click that off. Otherwise, you just have to search and see. That's assuming you're interested in that. If you're not, well, too bad. It sucks to be you, as they say. So I wanted to show you. Cheryl asked about the things I'm taking to my brother. Well, you've seen the table runner and the placemats and everything that I made to go together. Well, yesterday I made a bag to put them all in. So I have the bag filled with the little goodies for my brother, and it's a themed bag, as beach theme, kind of appropriate for Vancouver, I guess. But I did this bag, actually. It was done in my embroidery hoop. You still have to use your sewing machine to sew components together, but all the front and all the panels, and there's pockets, all done in the hoop. And I think it's kind of fun, but I think it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, actually, it looks nice.
Oh, that's not what you said yesterday.
Well, I don't know. I only saw it briefly on your...
And it's completely lined.
Yeah.
Inside, too. It's all lined and everything like that. So, yeah, I did that at the Pop-Up Sew Day yesterday. So that was fun, too. Okay, so did I catch up on everybody? Yeah, Barb. Stephen Walter live on location. Lucy went to 2 shops in Nanaimo. Yeah, I've got a list of quilt stores in BC, kind of a thing I found from one of the major guilds. And I won't get, some of them are in areas that we won't be going to, like Chilliwack and, I don't know, down in the, what do they call it, Okanagan Valley, that kind of thing. At least I don't think we'll get the Okanagan. We might. Who knows?
We'll see.
Kelowna. I don't know.
Abbotsford doesn't sound too exciting, but...
Yeah. There are some quilt stores in Abbotsford.
Mm-hmm.
There are not many. I think there were 2 or something.
We don't have to do you don't have to see everything type of thing. It's more to see a few things, do things, and it's not here.
Yeah, it's not here. But I am a little paranoid about this trip. Actually, today I'm feeling a little bit more excited about it. Part of my paranoia was I wasn't sure what kind of reception. I'm still not absolutely sure what kind of reception I was going to get from my brother, but I think we're on a positive tone right at the moment with the email that he sent right to me today. You know, there was no delay, so that's good. I'm not looking forward to Toronto Airport, as I've said before, because it is a shit show. Even before COVID, it was always a shit show, but it's been even worse, you know, now with the way their flights go. I mean, they've changed our plane 3 times, and Walter's had to change our seating 3 times for all of that. So, you know, I would not be surprised. I'd be pissed off, but there isn't anything I can do about it, which that would piss me off even more when I don't have any control, is if they cancel our flight or reschedule it or whatever they do. You know, so I'm a little paranoid about that. We saw something on TV the other night about Vancouver. They just took a whole bunch of homeless people that were camped out in one area of downtown Vancouver and did what they did in Toronto too, just destroyed their habitat and muscled them away and the whole bit. And I said,
well, we're not staying in that area.
No, I said, is that a good area of town or bad area? I assumed it was kind of a bad area, and Walter says, yeah, it's a bad area. But we're not staying there anyways. But, you know, and even Vancouver, you hear on the news, had the same problem as Toronto, just random knifings. You know,
in their public transport system.
Yeah.
Which they haven't had much of.
So, you know, like, I know you can't worry about these kind of things because, you know, and of course, if it bleeds, it leads on the news, and I know all that. But, you know, it's been this cabin mentality that I have had since COVID, you know, where, you know, we weren't going anywhere or doing anything. And, yeah, got to rip the Band-Aid off, I guess, and just go for it. So get back into the way it used to be, if anything can be that way. So, yeah, I'm a little bit paranoid, but I'm sure I'll get over it with it once we get going. Balloonist says, I visited a fabric store in Abbotsford last August, managed to spend less than $100. Okay, so that would suggest to me then that there wasn't much there for you that attracted you. And well, thank you, Janice. That's nice to know. Patsy says, pattern for the bag. It is called Beach Bag, and it's by Sweet Pea Designs. So if you go to Sweet Pea Designs, and be careful, because if you just put in Google Sweet Peas, you'll get some other places that have designs, but they're not embroidery. This is in the hoop machine embroidery, okay? But just do a search for Sweet Pea Designs, and you'll find it. You can find it on their site. And I don't think it was very expensive for the pattern. I may have gotten it on sale. Probably that's why I bought it at the time. But even if it's not on sale, it's not terribly expensive. Probably under $10. Scrunchions is on. Good afternoon, everyone. I didn't hear my notification. Sorry I'm late. Thanks for the sew day yesterday. I was able to complete quilting my Stargazer. Yes, we know. You showed it to us. It looked great. Barb says, unfortunately, a guy was stabbed in front of Starbucks last Sunday in Vancouver.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
I looked at it, and the guy, it was pretty random, and the guy was like there with his wife and his kid in Starbucks. I guess there was an altercation on the outside with him and somebody else, and somebody else stabbed him. So
yeah, so you know, does make you think twice, but you know, you can't live with your head in the sand either. Derek says there was some excitement over here with some guy from Toronto trying to smuggle 300,000 pounds worth of cannabis through Aberdeen Airport this week. Was he bringing it with him from Canada, or was he trying to get back to Canada with it? Because I don't know why he'd want to come back to Canada with it, because it's legal here. So and I don't know. I mean, there's still the black market for cannabis here, but
I mean, if you want to buy from like, yeah, there's a big black market in cannabis here, but your the amount that you're supposed to be allowed to have is not that much.
yeah, yeah. Cheryl says at least you have Walter with you. When I go to Halifax, I'm coming alone. Yeah, but you won't be alone for long, Cheryl, will you? Because we'll be there, and Stephanie will be there, and Ron will be there, and Lydia will be there. And I'm working on, when I get back from Vancouver, I'm going to seriously be working on trying to arrange a meet and greet for us all that are going to that. So stay tuned. I have some ideas for where I want to do this. I just have to check it out a little bit more. Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought it was you that showed it. Scrunchians, I don't remember your first name. That's why I'm having difficulty remembering. Um, Derek says he was bringing it with him and accidentally got diverted up here instead of England. We have a lot more drug screening up here as it is a hub for international oil and gas. Well, I hope they throw the book at him. Oh, Cheryl says she's actually staying with Stephanie. Okay. Well, good. Fun. We'll do dinner. Yeah, we'll do dinner. So, okay. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the trip. All right. Moving on because we are starting to run out of time. I think I'm going to jump to something that I found very, very interesting and very scary. And not scary as in, getting knifed in Vancouver, kind of scary. But you know how we did a So Chatty a couple of weeks ago about AI with that Chat GPT? Well, I saw several YouTube videos yesterday that show that that's just skims the surface. Apparently, there are so many different AI programs available now that they can do everything from draw you a work of art to, writing major essays to doing coding for you for HTML and JavaScripts to all kinds of other stuff, writing you a job resume based some minimal facts and information you give it,
Writing essays and marking them.
And I thought, oh my God, I'm glad I'm not teaching anymore because I don't know how the education system is going to cope with this, because for sure the kids are going to use this to write essays. They're going to use it to do art. They're going to use it for mathematical stuff. These AIs do all of this. And just as a little experiment, I decided, okay, so do we need teachers to write lesson plans anymore? So I had it write me a lesson plan for teaching students how to write a thesis statement. Oh my God. It is exactly the kind of lesson plan I would have written. Not only that, it wasn't just a lesson plan, but it also included some group activity in it and assessment procedures. I thought, holy crap. This is stuff you go to teachers' college to learn how to do. At least I did on that. And now, by just write me a lesson plan for teaching how to write a thesis statement. Bingo. I mean, does anybody need a teaching degree anymore? I mean, I can see the ministries of education starting to look at this. Well, first of all, there's going to be directives if it hasn't already happened. It probably is already in the workings. And I'm glad I'm not an English department head anymore, because I know what would happen. The ministry would say, okay, English department heads, your English departments have to now learn how to cope with this new technology and develop procedure and curriculum so students don't cheat when they're writing essays and things like that. And the same for math teachers, because there's math ones, and art people, and even music teachers. You can have it write an original piece of music for you as well. I wouldn't want to have to cope with all of that. But I'll bet you the Ministry of Education, at least in Ontario, I can just see what they're thinking. They were pushing online learning before COVID. Then they got really were pushing it during COVID. because, keeping kids safe and everything. And it costs them a lot less money to do online learning than it costs to have teachers. And in the school system, are you having fun? Those are feet. Yes.
Yeah.
Usually you come with two. Just discover them. They're like a baby. You want to get on your back and put a toe in your mouth?
Yeah.
What?
No, had a thread. There's a thread on my sock, and it's bothering me.
Squirrel. Okay, so.
And I thought, well, next thing you know, I'll be dragging it through your sister's house.
Okay. Whatever. Another dimension here. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So, I could see our Ontario government starting to replace teachers with AI and doing it online. Quite seriously. Because it's only going to get better. Derek says, what? I tried putting in some essay topics and it did lack critical analysis, appropriate references, etc. But a student could still achieve a bare pass. It's also very repetitive in its content. That is true, Derek, but go on YouTube if you haven't already. You probably have, but there are other ones besides that one we were talking about, that chat one, that apparently will do citations and everything in it and put in direct quotes. And I stuck in to have it write an essay about why Hamlet is a tragic hero in Shakespeare's Hamlet. It wrote, if I got this essay from a kid, there weren't any supporting evidence, okay? It would have to have had that. But if I got that from a kid in school, as you said, it's at least a bare pass, or even maybe slightly more. And I could also see that you could take this and take that as your bare bones and start fleshing it out more, but save you a lot of time. But they're only going to get better. And I don't mean the kids. I mean the AI. The future is now. I just find it kind of scary. Really scary.
Yeah, because then you're going to stop thinking.
Well,
I mean, as it is, when calculators came out and stuff like that, and now that everybody has a calculator in their pocket, kids or people or young people, maybe not that young anymore, stopped being able to do math in their head.
Yeah. I'm just looking back up here. Derek says universities are freaking about this. We've had various updates where we are basically told that detecting AI is a battle and we will not win. We're being told to teach students to use AI responsibly. Yeah, I definitely could see how that's happening. But how do you teach kids how to use AI, especially at the rapid rate that it keeps changing and improving and getting better and better and better? And this is what was giving me stress when I was listening to this. And if I was a teacher still, it would give me even more stress, because I think it's dangerous. But yeah, you're not going to be able to avoid it. And apparently I was watching one YouTube video. They said there are programs out there for detecting AI created content. However, they're not very reliable. And we had this fight way back with essay writing when the internet first appeared in schools and things like that, and kids plagiarizing from it. And there were programs we could use to detect the plagiarism and find the sources, but they were not 100%. In fact, most time the best you got out of that was it would maybe hit 50% or 60% of a rating, letting you know, okay, this has probably been pilfered from someplace. So it's going to be worse now. I can see that. There says the AI keeps learning so hard to keep up with. I did get a laugh when I told us right about muscle contraction in the style of Shakespeare and also in the style of Donald Trump. Hilarious alpha. Yeah, I know you can do things like that with it. But it also will create content for YouTube. And it'll create scripts. It'll also create clickable headlines. When I saw
well, you can apparently in Chat GPT, you can put in a whole YouTube reference to a YouTube's video, and it will summarize what was in the video. And it will also, you could put a picture up of something, like in the example that I saw was a picture of a brain, and ask it to define locations in this picture, and it would describe everything.
Yeah. It's really it's exciting. It's interesting, and I think it's very scary about that. So I'm just glad I'm not a teacher anymore.
Yes.
And Stephanie said, "Yeah, it's up to the parents, to watch this." Well, you want to know something? I think Stephanie, you're in a good position because you homeschool your kids, so you could definitely um, watch them, and know what they're doing. But in a school environment, and they all have laptops now. That's standard practice in most schools. The kids all have laptops, at least at the high school level, and that. So I don't know how you would get around it. I guess you'd have to have them write the essays in class. It's going to be a whole new way of structuring how teachers teach, at least English teachers, how they teach that kind of stuff. Um, well, some are, Maryland. Some programs are free. Some have upgrades that cost you. Many of them look like they're going towards a monthly subscription basis, which like a lot of programs are these days. So yeah, but you want to
Chat GPT right now is free. So
yeah, except for the upgraded version.
Except for the upgraded.
The upgraded version is $20 a month. And I'm not sure if that's.
I mean, the free version gives you a good idea of things that you can do. So.
Yeah.
Stephanie says they can't make change. That means at the till, right? Young people.
What?
If you go to a store and then it pops up that
cash
register says you have to give X amount of money change. Yeah, people can do that. But then if for some reason they're in a situation like you're running a cash box at a fair or something, and it's not,
they can't
figure that out.
No. I mean, when calculators came on the market and more kids had calculators in school and the whole bit, there was a big battle for the math teachers. And the math teachers, I think, turned around and embraced the technology and started incorporating it into the curriculum. But I'm not sure how you would do that with AI. Mm-hmm. Because it's miles beyond a calculator kind of a thing. So Derek says the key thing is to harness its power to solve real problems for people in a constructive way, finding new antibiotics, clean energy source sector. We may have to go back to invigilated paper exams. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to incorporate it into the curriculum and teach students how to use it responsibly. But I think this time it's a little bit more major than using a calculator or that kind of thing in tools with it. But yeah, it's the only way. But our kids can't handwrite anymore. Yeah, I know.
Maybe they'll have to bring out typewriters again.
Yeah.
Dumb terminals.
Yeah, what kind of presents are we going to have in the future? What kind of presents?
Maybe it's both spelled wrong.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. We need AI for that one, Janice. I wonder if AI can make quilting patterns longer. Yes, it can. I tried it. AI can write a quilting, very simple, but it depends on how much information you give it. It can write a quilting program. I tried that.
He meant for long arms.
Or drive long arms. Quilting patterns or drive long armors. Oh, yeah, well, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, make me a quilting bed.
Well, that's where it's coming to.
Yeah.
I mean, think about your phone. You can go to, you can tell it, give it commands. You can give Siri commands, right? To do things, and you can dictate them to her. So, yeah, like next year.
I'm sure, yeah.
Not far away. Well, we won't get into that discussion, Lucy, because I always felt that we didn't need exams. I've always been a strong advocate against exams, and I have fought about that with alternative methods for it, and I've always lost because the old dinosaurs in the education system, you gotta have exams. Exams teach nothing. But that's a discussion for another day because we don't have time. And I was going to bring up some questions and comments that people brought up. But we'll save these for another week because none of these are pressing about anything. So we got to go. I will have up my usual videos next week. We may be doing a So Chatty next Friday. We may not be doing a So Chatty next Friday. It depends because I'm not sure what And then we're going to be leaving because we have a hotel room the night before the flight at the airport. So there may not be a lot of time for us to sit down and do a full-fledged So Chatty. But we will be doing things as much as we can on the road when we're out in BC. So stay tuned for that. And I hope everybody has a great Easter and don't get sick on the bunnies. The chocolate ones, I mean. If you're eating real bunnies, you're a horrible person. Really, they're so fluffy. Okay, we'll see you we'll see you sometime soon. Put it that way. Okay, bye everybody.
Yeah, bye-bye.